Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another Sensual Satsang with me. I hope you're feeling well, and I hope that you're present and calm, so that we can connect at a deeper level, which is the main thing here, at least from my perspective. That's what I desire to do, to enjoy myself and feel fulfilled by expressing myself from my heart, and simultaneously that serves you in any possible way. I was wondering last week, well, these past days, whether my content was somewhat repetitive. And I was reflecting on that, and I have finally decided that it is and it's not. It is because there are a few, or a main central topic here, which is being yourself and being brave enough in this world to be who you truly are. To be connected with your true and highest self and bring that beauty and that power outside, so that not only you can benefit from that experience, but everyone and everything else on this planet and in the whole universe. So I guess that's my central message, and I use my life as an inspiration. But then there's so many ways in which I can express that, and I have so many examples of that. And at the same time, if it is repetitive, it is because it must be. I mean, we have been bombarded throughout our whole lives, or most of our lives, especially up, I would say, until the end of the 20th century. There was a very, very low notion of the importance of self-respect, or social respect, or individuality, or personal growth. And today, the people who don't want to grow are clearly disconnected from themselves and are clearly afraid to do so, because it has become quite popular, actually. But even the people that I know who are on an inner journey and have been for quite some time, they still struggle with being their true selves. They are capable of doing that to some extent, everywhere or fully, but just within certain social circles. Normally those would be more spiritual ones, or very, very liberal or open ones, but not everywhere and all the time. And those who are starting their inner or spiritual journey have even much more difficulty in doing so, because what we perceive from the outside is not really empowering us to do so. And we need more of us reminding ourselves that we have the right to be who we truly are, exactly as we are. And we have that choice. So the power lies within us. And I'm very sorry for those of you who may be living in countries where there is not much freedom to be who you truly are. Those of us who live in countries where there is a lot of freedom, that doesn't mean that we are empowered as humans. It means that we have freedom to express ourselves to a certain acceptable extent. In some countries there is none of that, unfortunately. So again, those of us who are in these countries where we say there is democracy and we have these freedoms, we don't have an excuse actually. The only thing that is preventing us from expressing who we truly are is ourselves, and it is in our minds. It is our own beliefs and our own psycho-emotional patterns that are preventing us from doing that every day, all the time. And that's my journey. Going the farthest that I can in expressing who I am. Not trying forcefully to be different so that I catch people's attention or anything of that sort. Just being myself. Normally being myself fully doesn't sit as very, very natural or normal with most people around me. But with those who are on an inner journey, yes, they find me to be very, very interesting and very sweet and special and wonderful things, because they're so open to receive me that they can actually perceive my beauty. You know, there's social circles where people have not really investigated and discovered who they are, or be in the process, like I said, that there's not a specific destination for who you are. It's a continuous process of self-discovery. Then for that, people, they have many times a hard time accepting people being very different to who they are, or people behaving or thinking in ways very different to what is considered normal in society. Even though it's not written in the Constitution what it is to be normal, there is silent laws in our world where you start doing certain things and you are stared at and looked as weird and commented by other people that you're weird. And we need to become very comfortable with other people finding us weird. That's something that we need to accept, because trying to expect other people not to find us weird, taking into account that we are unique beings, is very unrealistic, and it's really going to drain us down. It's a very, very hard task, and probably an impossible one to accomplish. But you have the capacity and you have the opportunity to work on yourself so that it becomes natural to you, at least acceptable, that other people don't like you, don't fully see you, are incapable of respecting you or admiring you, or not finding you weird or even crazy. Nothing of that sort is true, except for the fact that you are unique, and therefore some other people may not understand at all some things that you do or think or feel or whatever. And their ignorance in about the multidimensionality of the human being and the richness and powers that we all hold does not allow them to see any further. So the judgment quickly comes in the moment that they see a great difference compared to themselves or compared to most people that they know, especially in their countries and in their regions and in their so-called social environment, whatever social status they think they have. In within that status, there is things that are considered appropriate or inappropriate, and if they don't do inner work, they cannot transcend those psychological limitations that they have. But since you are on a spiritual journey and you have knowledge of what this life is about, what the human being is, you can make that choice for yourself and free yourself once and for all from wanting or needing to be liked and admired by everybody else. That I find a very natural and existential desire, actually. So that's very, very, very normal to me. I think we should all be respecting, appreciating, admiring, and loving each other as we are. I think that's the most natural thing when you are connected to your soul and God consciousness. But because that is not happening on earth yet, you cannot keep on suffering, being connected to a part of you, which is more or completely in the survival mode, that we can also call the human ego, that is wanting to fit everywhere and it is wanting to experience love no matter what. And that part of you is also lost and doesn't know exactly where love comes from, and because of the way it has been raised and because of the examples it has seen around itself, it believes that the love comes from outside and is always looking for approval from outside and recognition from outside and examples of lovingness coming from outside, as if it couldn't experience it for itself, as if it was not coming actually from within. So that's a part of us that we can educate and then we can help understand how all these things work. And it's very important that we are very conscious of our thoughts every day so that we see where we're getting lost and which part of us is active and what narratives are we actually feeding. So the moment that we feel that we're craving for someone's attention, someone saying how good we are at doing something, someone sending us a message so that we can feel that they have thought about us, and then now we feel important again, about getting a pay rise, which would mean again that we have been properly considered, and desiring all of these things is very natural again, that we want to experience some form of progress in our lives, for example professionally, and we also want to experience the deliciousness of feeling appreciated by others, friends, lovers, relatives. But one thing is to naturally desire that and enjoy that when it happens, and quite different it is to be needing and craving for that, because then there is no inner peace. And if there is no inner peace, the rest of the wonderful things energetically that could be available to us will not be, because we're no longer present to experience them. So the moment that we're needing and craving, that's the moment to wake up and realize, okay, this part of me, this aspect of me, this narrative in me is active again. Now I need to be 100% conscious of serving this energy being active. That is already a lot. To be able to catch yourself soon enough before it takes a great form, it gets intense and it lasts for hours, days, months, who knows. That's where the practical inner work actually starts. When you perceive it getting active and you immediately choose to not fall into that direction, wherever it's going. I'm not good enough. Nobody understands me. Why is this happening to me again? You know, you need to know what narratives and psycho-emotional patterns are active in you. So in general, just be observant of your inner world. What wakes up in you every day or every week or every month, but our psycho-emotional patterns get active unless you're really protecting yourself from getting them active normally, which doesn't work, by the way, in the long term. Normally they will get active pretty easily if you're engaging in life with people naturally and you're trying to live from your true self. You're going to feel triggered quite often, and you observe them as they come up and you stay present with them. You don't try to avoid them or reject them, and you don't fall into the trap of believing what they're saying. So it's really a majestic work of becoming neutral, also without forcing that neutrality. With practice, you'll find that it is possible to do that and be connected to your breath. Breathing is really going to help you come out of that state very soon. Also identify in which parts of your body this energy feels more present when it gets active. For me, it used to be normally the solar plexus and the heart, and my neck as well. So separated from the chakras, let's say, would be physically any kind of tension coming from my ego getting active, I would immediately experience it in my neck and in my shoulders. So as much information as you can observe and gather of your psycho-emotional patterns, the easier it will be for you in the end to realize, to disconnect from that, detach from that, and realize that you are not that. Those energies are within you, but you are not them. So you will stop at some point believing that that is true, that you're not enough, that nobody cares about you, that you're not special enough to make a living out of being who you are, or that you're not beautiful enough, whether it's from outside or inside, but there's something wrong with you, you can't stand being on this planet anymore. Those things are not true. There is truth in them because there is a reason why you're suffering all of those things. So we need to respect and acknowledge that something has happened along the way for you to be unconsciously believing all of these things. And some of them may be conscious. You may not know yet that you are believing on a conscious level stuff that is really limiting or diminishing of yourself or other people. But the conscious beliefs are quite easy to catch. The unconscious ones are the ones that require all of your energy and intention and consciousness to start catching them. And once you realize that they're there, then you stop feeding them. That's as much, from my perspective and experience, that you have to do. The moment that you stop feeding them, which is not easy, by the way, I'm not saying it's easy, it's doable for sure. The moment you stop feeding them, they by themselves will start losing their own energy because you are the one who's giving them power. You have been doing so for years. And once you stop feeding them, they can no longer stay as strong and intense and active and present as they were before. They can't. So you don't have to destroy them, and you don't fight against them or anything of that. So no form of violence is needed here. It's actually in a very loving manner that we do this. We need to understand that it has happened for a reason. Those beliefs may have, to some extent, protected us in the past from greater damage, from greater pain, as we didn't have other tools or knowledge or resources to understand life or ourselves in a better way. And those beliefs, we're trying to protect ourselves, and or we unconsciously believed other people who told us these things, and we unconsciously had those people as an authority in our lives, and then we just inherited those beliefs unconsciously without realizing that they were very disrespectful towards ourselves and false. So keep on doing your work because it pays off. I myself, for example, have transcended an attachment I had to a person where there was romantic and sexual energies connecting us. It took me 20 years to transcend that. And I didn't know if at some point I was desperate. I didn't know I was dreaming about that person. And I didn't really know if at some point this was going to stop. But suddenly it did. And this year and late last year, I have started to experience transcending other stuff that has been active within me since I was very young, and things that I have been working on for many years now. And now I see they're just leaving me. They are no longer active within me. They're no longer disturbing my inner peace or disturbing the knowledge that I have of how beautiful and powerful I am. So just don't lose courage. It pays off. All the inner work that you do, it pays off. At some point, you're going to see that you're liberated from the stuff that is not allowing you to experience you in a higher level of consciousness and to experience a physical life that is a reflection of who you are inside. I love you. Stay wise and wild.